Imagine having only $100 in your bank account, no place to sleep, and being forced to sell your dog, your best friend, just to survive. This isn't a scene from a fictional movie. This was the real life of Sylvester Stallone before the world ever knew the name Rocky Balboa. The man who is now a global synonym for unbreakable strength and success started with obstacles that would have crushed most people from the very beginning. It all started with a tragic medical mistake at his birth. Doctors had to use instruments that accidentally severed a nerve, resulting in lifelong paralysis on the left side of his face. This gave him his characteristic look and his specific, slightly slurred way of speaking. As a child, Sylvester was a target for cruel bullies. They told him he looked strange, that he talked funny, and that with such a defect, he would never succeed as an actor. But he didn't know that this very flaw would one day become his greatest trademark. When he moved to New York to chase his dreams, reality hit him harder than any boxer ever could. He spent days sleeping on cold bus station benches because he couldn't afford rent. He was so desperate and hungry that he accepted a role in an adult film for just $200, simply to buy food. He later admitted the choice was simple. Either that movie, or he'd have to start robbing people on the street. He hit his lowest point when he had to do the unthinkable. Having no money for himself, let alone for dog food, he took his dog, Butkus, to a liquor store and sold him to a stranger for just $25. It was the hardest day of his life, having to hand over the only being that loved him unconditionally, just to survive for a few more days. But then, something happened that changed the course of his destiny forever. On March 24, 1975, Stallone attended a boxing match between the legendary Muhammad Ali and a total underdog, Chuck Wepner. Everyone expected Ali to wipe the floor with him in minutes, but Wepner did the impossible. He lasted 15 rounds and even managed to knock the great Ali to the floor. Watching this, Stallone saw a metaphor for his own life. He went home and in one breath wrote the script for Rocky in just 20 hours. When he took the script to film studios, they were thrilled. They offered him a staggering $350,000 for the rights. But there was one major condition. The studio wanted a famous star to play the lead role, not an unknown actor with a paralyzed face. Stallone, despite having only $100 in his pocket, did something crazy. He said no. He believed that Rocky was his story and that no one else could convey that emotion. "I am Rocky," he insisted, risking ending up on the streets once again. Eventually, the studio gave in. They gave him a small amount of money and a minimal budget. The movie was filmed quickly, with his own family as extras, but with a heart that Hollywood hadn't seen in a long time. The result? Rocky became a global phenomenon, earned millions, and won the Oscar for Best Picture. The first thing Stallone did with the money was a gesture that showed his true character. He went back to the same liquor store where he sold his dog. He waited there for days until he found the man he gave Butkus to. After long negotiations, he bought his best friend back for $3,000. Butkus later appeared in the movie itself as Rocky's loyal companion. Sylvester Stallone's story isn't just a story about boxing. It's a lesson in believing in yourself when the whole world tells you that you're worthless. He proved to all of us that it doesn't matter how many times life hits you and knocks you to your knees. Only one thing matters: having the courage to get up and keep moving forward. So, the next time you think your situation is hopeless, remember the man who went from a bus station bench to the very top of the world.